Konnichiwa, Wojtek des. I found my head back, but not everything from what I used 10 years ago. It was interesting, you know, Scott was talking about the Kanadajin drama again. That was 10 years ago. It's a long time. And in the beginning, I didn't watch a lot of videos by Kanadajin3 because he was one of those kawaii girls and she had a high-pitched voice, sounded very hysterical, it hurt my ears. So I didn't really like her. I liked Give Me a Breakman more. I watch a lot of movies by Give Me a Breakman, a lot of wits, as he said. And Scott also was very often quite a wise guy when he talked about his Japanese facts. His G facts were very interesting. But then, yeah, then all of a sudden, Rachel came up with that video in which she talked about the problems with Rachel she had, with Mira she had, because Kanadajin3, the channel was called Kanadajin3, but she herself, her real name was Miranda Constable, and she said Mira for her friends, but I don't think she had a lot of friends actually. The actual name was a bit longer. I think she had a middle name too, but forgotten about that. And when she Kanadajin3, that was Kanadajin3 because it was her third channel, but I've never seen something of the first two channels, no idea what they were about. And then Rachel made a video which she said, you see, those two people are actually Kanadajin3 herself talking on a pseudonym. That's what they called popsocket accounts. Sock puppet accounts, excuse me, sock puppet accounts, or like sock puppets. And she started talking about the fact that Mira made the same spelling mistakes as the people on those accounts, which I thought was a bit stupid because some spelling mistakes are made by everybody. So I thought it was a weak argument, and I didn't watch the complete video, but in the end, I think, I'm not sure whether Rachel already knew it. By the way, the video about which Rachel complained, I found it back on YouTube. It's still on YouTube. You can still see it, and I'm going to put it down in the comments. But then something else happened, and I've always thought that was odd. You know, I've never really believed that the whole Mira thingy was genuine. Why not? Well, Mira asked Kat from Kat Loves Osaka to make a picture in which he held up a cardboard on which Kat had written, I'm not Kanadajin3. And Kat asked, okay, why do you want me to make that picture? And Mira said, surprise. Yeah, so Kat sent this picture to Mira, and Mira put it on a Facebook account of which she was the owner, but which she had made with a pseudonym, with a false name. And that account she used to defend her own channel and attack the other channels. Now, Kat saw that, of course. The result was that lots of people thought that Kat was the attacker. So they took contact with Kat. Kat took contact with Mira to say that the photo had to be deleted. The photo was deleted in half an hour. The photo hasn't been longer than half an hour on that Facebook account, not longer. So I think that Scott is a bit mistaken there when he says that Mira had sent the picture to a lot of people. It's possible that it happened, but I don't think that it must have been put on that Facebook account first and then afterwards on. I always thought it was a bit fishy because you have to admit that it is very stupid of Miranda to do something like that. How could she imagine that Kat would agree on something like that without actually knowing what's going on? It's not the kind of thing which you expect to be a good surprise. So I thought that was fishy. And the thing was gone, then everybody started to attack Mira a bit exaggerated. When those days, when you put Kanadajin3 in the search field of YouTube, then you got one or two advertisements first, and then Mira's channel, and then her latest video, and then 50 videos about that problem. 50. Almost everybody attacking her. I thought it was quite exaggerated. There were a few exceptions who said, yeah, come on, let's leave it at that and let's not talk about it anymore. But in general, there was a lot of attacks. And I myself didn't really trust the whole thing. I thought that it was more kind of a scam. Yeah. Kat, for instance, made a video in which she said, quite literally, that Mira had to apologize within a week or she would sue her. Within a week, without actually giving a specific date. But that video was on the internet, so everybody could watch it, of course, which I thought first was already very odd that you would bring your quarrel so in the open, first. Secondly, and that was more important, she didn't give a real date. Now, if I watch that video today and you watch it 3 days later, then for you that week ends 3 days later. So why didn't she give a date? That's what I thought was so odd about it. And that's one of the reasons why I thought this is more kind of a scam. And actually, if you look at the viewing rates, then you see when the thing starts, the views go up. Yeah, of course things don't stay like that. They went up, and after a while people get bored of it, and then it dropped down lower than it was in the beginning. But some people, like for instance, or Gary had quite a sensible way of dealing with the thing, and he said, come on, let's leave it at that. And he had already published a lot of videos on YouTube. Normally he got 200 or 300 views. That was it, 200-300. Then he made a video about Kanadajin3, and after that his views went to 3,000. Nowadays, we are much later nowadays, and now he has difficulties getting 100. So now lots of people who made videos, you still find some of the videos of those days, but lots have been deleted too. I deleted all my videos. The first videos I made about it, I treated it as kind of a parody, because I was not convinced that everything was as it was. But you see, Scott makes a video about it, Kimia Brakeman reacts again, everybody reacts again. For some or other reason, people are hooked on it. And it's because it's such a mystery why somebody does something like that. And I think that Scott actually said it without actually really knowing it, and I think it was all about the money. Kanadajin tried to make money with that channel, and that's why she attacked the others, and actually she did the same thing that publicity does a lot. Yeah, but she did it herself, and people felt attacked by her. Treated, maltreated, mistreated, lied to. And I think it was all about the money, and at a certain moment then Kanadajin3 got the odd idea to become Muslim, which was also very odd. She was Canadian, she didn't know a word of Arabic, she didn't know a verse from the Quran or so, and she would turn Muslim. And it's as Scott said, she went quite far in it, quite extreme in it. Now, that was in August 2017, and to give you an idea, I had been publishing videos on the internet since 2014. I was happy with 150 views per video, that was it. I once had a hit, and that was 1,200 or 1,500, don't know exactly. But in August 2017, when Mira said, I'm going to be a Muslim, or I'm a Muslim, I saw that video. I was completely surprised, because that's really not what she should have been doing at that moment, not at that moment, not later, because she isn't a suitable person for something like that. I immediately made a video about it without actually even igniting the light. I make it completely in the dark. You didn't see me, you you only saw a dark silhouette, a shadow, that was all you saw, and I got over 10,000 views on that video. Now, if you imagine that I had a few months before worked a whole day on a video of 8 minutes about Japan and not even 20 persons saw it, I had less than 20 views. I had less than 20 views, and 10 of them might have been my own views because I wanted to see whether some people already had watched it. So imagine. And then you make something like that without any preparation, just rambling about it, with very, very bad views, and I got over 10,000 views. And that was a bit the moment that I thought, oh, what am I going to do with that channel? I could make things, of course, about learning Japanese, but a lot of people making videos about learning Japanese, and most of them are much better than I am. The whole subject of Kanadajin3, you have to admit, it's all the level of gossip. I didn't want it to become kind of a gossip channel either. So that's why I quit, actually. There was not really something interesting. And also, as Scott said, the community fell apart. There were more and more people doing it. People got specialized. The quality went up, although the quality, that's the quality, we shouldn't think too often that the quality depends on the technical equipment you use. It's very often more about the preparation, about having a text, about taking some notes, yeah, so that you don't have to think too much. Also, some of those videos you can't make on your own, and that was also something which struck me with Kanadajin3. On some of her videos, you see that she's not on her own. Somebody must have been behind the camera, because otherwise you can't frame everything. You see, it's not really about the equipment, it's more about the way you handle things, whether you have a clear text, whether you know what you're talking about, whether you frame things correctly. It's about the use of the equipment, not about the equipment itself. So when Scott starts saying that back in those days they had, he gives a bit the impression that they had bad equipment, but that's not true. The equipment was good enough. It are other elements which decide on the quality of the video. But here's right, that the GVlogging community for a certain degree imploded. He thinks it's not but about Kanadajin3, but I'm not too sure of it, because as I told you, we had a certain level of viewers. The Kanadajin3 drama made it rise, people got bored of it, and after a while it dropped. I think the real problem was that everybody got exhausted on the subject, and there was no replacement for the subject. There was no replacing subject matter. Now, why did Kanadajin3 do that? Well, it was about the money. Let's say in 2016 something happened in the United States, you know, Trump was elected. Now, how does YouTube put videos in the ranking? Yeah, well, before 2017, actually before 2016, very important was the activity on the video. Activity that meant 1, views, okay. Secondly, subscriptions. Thirdly, shares. Fourthly, likes. That's all very, very logical. But then the fifth element was comments. Now there is already a problem. If you have 10 comments, then the 10 comments might say good video, but for the same time they can also say this video sucks. But the only thing that YouTube did was counting the amount of comments. That's a bit normal, because if they really have to take a look into the content of the comment, then it becomes very, very difficult. But what they also counted was dislikes, and I think there you see what's so important. If you made a video and you got 100 likes and no dislikes, and somebody else made a video and he got no likes and 1,000 dislikes, then he would have classified higher. Now, that changed in 2017. That's why I'm mentioning Trump, because of the elections in 2016 in the United States, people started to know that actually 2015 the elections were a bit earlier than 2016, were 2015. Lots of companies started to know that they were doing something wrong. You had that scandal with Cambridge Analytica on Facebook, for instance, and people started to know we should do something, because if we go on like this, it will be self-destructive. Now, so YouTube stopped counting dislikes for the ranking. You can still give a dislike, but nobody sees it anymore and it doesn't count for the ranking. If we now take a look at Kanadajin3's videos before 2017, then we see that she had a few very successful videos. Like, for instance, she had one about sanitary towels which are used by women. She had one about racism in Japan. She also had one about Muslims in Japan before she turned Muslim and before she knew Rodi. So the fact that she turned Muslim because she knew Rodi, it's not 100% correct. I know that my background is doing odd things. I don't know what it is or why it does that. Now, those videos had high view ratings. And all those videos have something in common. They are quite controversial. Actually, after 2014, she once went with another YouTuber, a small YouTuber, to a restaurant in Japan. And they have eaten their whale. Now, that has been one of her most successful videos in that time, in that year or that half a year. Over 250,000 views, I think. But eating whale, that meant that you drew a lot of attention from all those greenies, which started saying the Japanese should stop hunting whales, they should stop killing them, they're eradicating them, and so on. So it was a controversial video. And then in 2017, she got a lot of dislikes. And then in 2017, YouTube decided to stop counting dislikes for your ranking. And then in 2017, Miranda decides to become a Muslim. And I think that's her business model was destroyed. She wanted to make money with YouTube. Excuse me. And her idea was, I make controversial videos, people will watch it, they will share it, they will attack me, but they will watch it, and I will have a lot of views and make money. And then all of a sudden she decides that she noticed that she can't do that anymore. That's when she turns Muslim. And I think she turned Muslim because being a Muslim, based in Japan, she might have hoped to draw Muslim viewers outside of Japan, being almost the only Muslim, actually extreme Muslim, being in Japan. I think that was the idea. Is it true? Actually, I don't know, because Miranda was quite a mysterious type. It was very difficult to find trustworthy material. If you make a channel which is based on controversial videos, then you're not going to say a lot of stuff. But indeed, she made a lot of mistakes. She for instance, said there are no traffic lights in Japan. In one of her videos, she says there are no traffic lights, which is a bit odd because Japan is the country of the robots, let's say, and they would not have a robot agent. That's stupid. And there are traffic lights in Japan. So why did she say that? Maybe only to get negative reactions, to get views because of that. Who knows? But it's very difficult to find something. I tried to find something with that PHP BB forum, Pretty Ugly Liars, which was mentioned by Scott, but I had my doubts about what they actually wanted to do. I became 3 times a member in half a year time and was 3 times kicked out. And it was always the same pattern. Became a member, read a few comments, made a comment myself, made another comment, maybe 2-3 comments. I got a like. I make another content, boof, I was pushed out. It happened 3 times. I don't know what the aim of that forum actually was. I noticed that they were in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm not in the San Francisco Bay Area, so maybe they pushed me out because I wasn't interesting for their advertising clients. They stopped with the forum, but they went to Discord, so they still exist in some way, I think, but not on a normal PHP BB forum anymore, but on Discord. But most of those people were also a bit extreme, you know. They said that I was a sock puppet account of Mira, which is completely rubbish. But the fact that Mira, she had 2 accounts on Facebook with a pseudonym, and that I think turned lots of people paranoid. They saw sock puppet accounts everywhere, and I think that, yeah, that made it difficult. And I tried to find more information about me. I couldn't, because you also had something that was Encyclopedia Dramatica, I think, but there was something fishy about that site too. Some links really didn't lead anywhere. That might have been started with good intentions, but must have been sold to somebody who that's often the problem with things online, you know. They get sold, you never know what happens when it is sold, what the new owner does with it. Yeah, I know that my background is, but I don't know, it's something fishy with the program. I don't dare to touch it while I'm recording, but because I don't have a lot of time. And there's still a lot of attention for Mira, because she was so mysterious and we couldn't find out why she did what she did, and some things were stupid. It's as Scott said, her Japanese was quite good, so she can't have been utterly stupid. But then to expect from a cat that she wouldn't have any objections against using that picture, first. Secondly, making that picture and using that picture, you don't get it. That's so stupid, and that's why I always thought that it's a scam to draw views. And it worked. It worked for a while. It drew views. It led to an enormous amount of extra views on the videos from the GVlog community. There were new vloggers coming in, which didn't exist before. Lots of those people disappeared, but I have done a check this morning, and I see that there's still quite a lot of people still active. Like Scott is still active, Give Me a Breakman is still active, although it's called ASMR Japan nowadays, but he also has, that was Give Me a Flakeman originally, but Give Me a Breakman also still, Tomoko is still active, but not a lot. Ami Yamato is still active. Comical Rera too, I think. But if you take a look at the views, it's mostly around that period, 2014, that they had most of their views. Yeah, that's all actually I would like to say about it. That I'm not quite sure that Kanadajin really turned Muslim. I think she wanted to give her channel a new business model to draw views, and that didn't work out, and then because of that she disappeared. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with her now. I've seen some very odd pictures of her which give the suggestion that she was very close to become a porn actress. Really. So if Rodi says that she came up to him, it's possible. I had a feeling for a while that while Kanadajin3 was going down, that Rodi was going up, as if they were both part of the same company, and the company was switching. They switched Kanadajin3 for Rodi because Kanadajin3 was over. So let's launch Rodi. Rodi was a Muslim, they say, but you know, in the beginning, Rodi even didn't have a beard, so he was quite a liberal Muslim. So if Kanadajin3 then really turns so completely extreme, kind of an ISIS type. I don't think she could have believed that she would really be successful with Rodi doing that. But on the other hand, she was sometimes so completely off her rockers that you never know what she believed. And it's not entirely impossible that she made moves to Rodi because she might have thought he has money, and then you never know with that kind of people. So that's all that I wanted to say. I will thank Scott for making the video about the Kanadajin problems, because it was not only that problem, there were a lot of things involved. Charla in Japan was involved, Kato from Osaka, Rachel and June, and other people too actually. And also for his video about the GVlog community, because it's true what he says, the GVlog community isn't really a community anymore. They had made once a video that was very nice to see, and I will also put it in the description. That in 2013 you had a huge hit with Gangnam Style, as you might remember, and all those 20 or so, I should have counted it, but quite a lot of those YouTubers went together to make a video with that song. Things like that don't happen anymore. So yeah, now some people said, well, it has never been really a community. It's true, but I think that Scott's analysis, like yeah, everybody got his own life and they went different directions, is quite on it. So yeah, that is my take on it. I don't know what really happened. I don't think it's possible for anybody to know what really happened, except if somebody ever finds somewhere Kanadajin3 or Miranda Constable again somewhere. Who knows where he is? Who knows where she is? She actually might be in the gutter completely. I don't know. I hope it's not too bad. Bye.